We all know this harsh reality, don't we? If the ice caps melt, sea levels will rise. But what if they were to vanish completely? What would happen then? Let's imagine the unthinkable. The Arctic and Antarctica. Gone. No ice. Only open water. And billions of lives at risk. Fact number 1. Immediate impact. First and foremost, sea levels would rise by around 70 meters. New York, London, Tokyo, many other large cities would be underwater. Hundreds of millions of people would become homeless. But that's just the beginning. As the water temperature rises, so does the amount of dissolved carbon dioxide in the ocean. As the ocean gets warmer, it absorbs less carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, leading to more greenhouse gases in the air. This will speed up climate change, causing even more problems like more extreme storms, droughts that last longer, fires that rage across continents, and ocean currents that collapse. In Europe, ocean currents bring warm water from the tropics and help maintain a habitable climate. But without these currents, Europe could freeze. At the same time, the tropics would overheat. In the Amazon, for example, it might become too dry for the rainforest to exist. Many scientists believe that the tipping points could be passed rather quickly. We're talking about a matter of decades, not centuries. And what happens when you remove the ice from in front of the North Pole? Well, sunlight will reflect less from the white ice, and more will be absorbed by the dark ocean, leading to even more warming. Some scientists even predict that the Gulf Stream could slow or stop altogether, bringing colder temperatures to Western Europe and shifting weather patterns around the globe. This leads us to the next scene. Fact number 2, climate chaos. Rising temperatures would cause major shifts in rainfall patterns. Some regions would be hit by devastating floods, while others would face terrible droughts. Extreme weather events would become even more extreme. Storms would get stronger. Heat waves would last longer, and wildfires would become more frequent and harder to control. Many ecosystems would collapse, causing extinctions on a massive scale. In the Arctic, for example, polar bears would likely go extinct, along with many other species such as seals and walruses. In Antarctica, penguins would also likely die out, along with many other animals and plants that depend on the ice. All of this would have cascading effects throughout the entire ocean food chain. This leads us to the next scene. Fact number 3, wildlife extinction. Without the ice caps, many iconic animals would become extinct. Polar bears rely on the ice to hunt seals. Without the ice, they would have a hard time finding food and would likely starve to death. The same goes for penguins, who rely on the cold waters around Antarctica to find fish and other food. Many other animals such as seals, walruses, and polar foxes would likely die out as well. As these animals disappear, so would the birds that eat them. For example, many species of seabirds such as puffins and guillemots rely on fish and other marine life that live near the poles. Without the ice, these birds would have a hard time finding food and would likely go extinct. In fact, over 2 million seabirds could die off. That's 1/6 of all seabird species. This would have a devastating impact on the people who depend on them for food. For example, in some Inuit communities in Canada, people rely on birds such as eiders and dovekies for a significant portion of their diet. Without these birds, they would have to find other sources of protein, which could be difficult in a world where the ice caps have melted. Speaking of humans, let's look at what would happen to them in this next scene. Fact number 4, human survival. Whole cities would vanish beneath the waves, forcing hundreds of millions to flee inland. Farmlands would fail due to extreme weather and competition for resources. Countries would go to war over food and water. Some would try to buy their way out of the crisis, but there wouldn't be enough to go around. Geoengineering projects might be proposed to try and cool the planet, but it's unclear if they would work or cause more harm than good. People might turn to desperate measures, but ultimately, most wouldn't survive. So this is not science fiction. It is a warning. The ice is melting and the future is in our hands. Don't forget to stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.